So I'll come to the next topic about storytelling and marketing. So storytelling obviously works in marketing as people relate with interesting situations and characters. It piques the interest and engages them. So if a brand is attached to the story, then immediately it gets the attention because of the same. So if a great script writer or something has written some a great story, which is in a video format, it immediately once the person, the prospect has just looked at it and he is interested in the story, then obviously you get that attention. The brand gets that attention because of that story. Like any of these viral videos that have gone, it is because of that story, something topical, something aspirational is there in that, and that has got the attention of the story, and because of that, then that brand is in the news. So to start with, I will start with Shubhrika on any innovative or creative storytelling that has been used in marketing.
Yeah, very recent. I think somehow we ended up discussing that a few times already as well. Was the Lifebuoy campaign of Jhappi Pappi that came out end of 2020, was all about allergies and flu symptoms, all those COVID items, right? COVID symptoms specifically, and identifying how for siblings, the entire ad that I do remember is about two little sisters, and the younger one loving to go out and hug and kiss her elder sister all the time, but then the eldest one gets the flu and she's not able to hug her for an entire day, which is very sad for the little one. So they named that their campaign as Jhappi Pappi, and there was an entire song in the background which is on the same tagline. They created a hashtag for that. So all of that came out with one thing at the end of the day, that if you want to continue hugging and kissing your loved ones, your siblings, anyone in your family, all you have to do is keep washing your hands, and we recommend the Lifebuoy soap for that. That's their concept. So I, as a consumer, remembered that because it's beautifully portrayed. Another so there are a few ads like that available now. Another example is of Domino's, and this one ad that they created, which I think did not air on TV. It was for very specific platforms, and maybe I think they only released it on their social media platforms, wherein this man drops his mother off to an old age home, and he doesn't show up, doesn't call for months on end. She earns with some work that she does there, buys a smartphone and orders a pizza for him because he loves it, and that's when he comes back to meet her. So Domino's ki tagline is very highlighted there. It's saying "Khushiyon ki home delivery." So it's very beautiful, very emotional, very connecting, and at the same time leaves the mark of the brand in our minds and makes it more and more trustworthy. Storytelling, I think, is super, super important, because unless you're telling a good story, you won't get your audience to engage with you. No algorithm is going to pick you. No human is going to remember you. So the entire loop gets stuck, right? And then, so I think people know Pepsi for their products, right? I have no idea who Pepsi's founder was back in the day and why they started with PepsiCo when they did, or what made them do that. But then brands like Apple, Facebook, Amazon, we know their backstories, right? So story is what's connecting us to those brands also. Now when they've become huge giants, and Facebook is doing all that data stealing or privacy issues, all of that is coming in, we're still very connected with the people from their faces. We are connecting all of that with Mark Zuckerberg, right? That Mark Zuckerberg wants our data. Larry Page wanted our data for some reason, right? Now, so Sundar Pichai wants our data. But then that's not specifically about Facebook or about Google by the brand names. iPhone is not just Apple, it's Steve Jobs. That's coming in to influence our buying decisions a lot as well.
That's right. The founder's story is also used in the campaigns, that how did they come up with the brand or this thing and all. Yeah.
So one thing that's happening is I feel like this is the CEO replacement season going on. knows that Jeff Bezos stepped down, Andy Bassi is coming in, Amazon is a lot in the hype. But then in the background, a lot of other brands are also changing their CEOs. One that I came across recently was Starbucks. Now, Starbucks is bringing in a new CEO. They had someone else as their CEO before, both of them Indians. The point is, but we still know Starbucks by Howard Schultz. We know Howard Schultz has a Starbucks at home. I had no idea who the CEO of Starbucks was or who did the entire Tata Starbucks campaign in India. All that stuff did not matter. It's all been Howard Schultz, right? So all across the globe, Starbucks is Schultz. That's what matters here.
Very
Maybe social
true.
culture will be, known by Muskaan. This is Muskan's story. This is why she started it.
That's true. I hopefully that one day comes. With that, I totally agree. I think everyone, sorry, there is no brainer when it comes to storytelling. It's it makes you aware of what brands beliefs are sometimes. One such brand which I'm not sure if you guys are aware is about Tarani, which is a Indian wear brand.
Yeah.
It's you know and they basically, what they do is, they, with their effective storytelling, they say that it's time that we embrace our culture. One such campaign is their newly launched a collection called Naveli. Basically, what they do, what the campaign was all about, the typhoon of thoughts, what goes inside a bride's mind. You know, it was not talking about how beautiful she's looking. It was not about how the clothes were looking. It was not about the embroidery, the hem, nothing like that. It was all about what a girl goes through when she is, entering a commitment for life, when she's entering a family of unknown people. That's what really triggered, as because Tarani is highly popular when it comes to Gen Z, and because how he's changing the world, how he's changing the way we see Indian culture, is something which is quite interesting. Even influencers like Kusha Kapila, when she wore the sari from Tarani, it was beyond a collaboration.
Yeah.
It was the time when she wore it for her new home. It was the time when it was, she had a puja at home and Tarani was the correct fit, because that's what the brand stands for, that you wear red as an auspicious day, for an auspicious day. She wore Tarani because it stood for, is not like she could pick up a sari from Satyapal, she could have picked up a sari from anywhere. But it was more than a collaboration. And funny thing, she didn't even make any funny content on it. That's the thing, because she's known for her funny gesture, she's known for her quirkiness. But with Tarani, it was a different side we all saw together on Kusha's page. Also, such things are quite important, because you need to sometimes, it also depicts the heritage of the brand. It depicts where they're coming from. It also depicts that, what the brand might do in future. So effective storytelling is very important. You sometimes get to know how their lingo is, you get to know how their, aura, or how they treat you, how, if they treat the community well, if they treat their stories very well, they will treat you well as well, because it's like a belief they're putting out there. So when it came to Kantarani, he actually spoke once in an interview that he is actually portraying the fascinating fables he used to hear from his grandmom in childhood. And I think we all have been through that. We have our grandmothers and grandfathers telling us about stories, folk tales that are so interesting. They're like, that is like a creative mind itself, because someone wrote about those fables. True, not true, we don't know that, but at the end of the day, it is serving either a moral, it's either serving a entertainment prospect, or it's just touching upon something heritage, and but presenting in a contemporary way, and change keeps happening. So yeah, storytelling is quite effective, and a lot of people are seen, or doing this. Amul, once when I spoke about it, Amul also does this, where they speak about people, they speak about the people's voice. I've more than seen with their sketches, with their comments, is about speaking from their customer. So that's what really stands out. And when that happens, any post can just become viral. When you hit the correct strings, when you have the everything in perfectly, everything just falls in place. So yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
think adding to that whole Torani concept and speaking about fashion brands, House of Masaba was one that used content, storytelling, and whatnot, an entire Netflix show. What is the show about? It's her and Nina Gupta's life, not the fashion house specifically. And then this recent ad that Lenskart has come out with, there's this friend of mine, Nayab Midha, she's a poet being featured in that. And so that's how I got to see that ad. I don't really follow Lenskart or anything for that matter. But yeah, so like you mentioned that, that ad was, or that collaboration with Kusha was not at all about the sari style or the embroidery or anything as such. That Lenskart ad as well is why I just got reminded of it. It's not about the kind of lenses that they're giving out, the kind of frames, the colors, and what their packaging is. No such thing has been covered in that ad. It's just a concept of a neighbor uh, thinking about his neighbor, that girl, um, and just wondering that she sits at her laptop all day and her eyes might be getting tired, and it's a Valentine's Day coming up, so I think I'll just gift my partner in loneliness something that helps her out as spectacles. So that's what Lenskart has done. That's made her really happy. That's all what storytelling is doing, bringing out the emotional part of us out to make us fall in love with the brand.
That's right. Also for premium products, like, or if there is a certain company that's getting into premium products, having a story to tell something extra about how they came up with the product or something is a major factor of making the product premium. So a lot of restaurants also do it in terms of, why is the best biryani, why, how did we make this best whatever sandwich or something like that. So it's been used by them also, and because that creates a sense that why is it premium? Why is you selling this at such high prices? Like, so that full story you are telling, and you're making that, so that creates that kind of impression with the potential, user, or I'm sorry, the customer.